the thing is that in the event that this inflation continues, and I think it will, and the reason I think it will is, have you seen the Fed funds chart?
No, I haven't seen it.
So the 40 or 50-year chart of like,
oh, you mean like, do you mean the balance sheet?
Interest,
that one
interest rates.
Interest
right?
rates.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah.
So just take a look at this chart, because the reason is this gives you an intuition that goes beyond our lifetimes or whatever on the long-term trend. Okay. So tell me if you can just pull this chart up. See that?
Yeah, I have it in front of me.
So since basically 1980, for the last 40 years, we have seen like a downward vector of interest rates. Like there are surges up, but if you notice, those surges up are shorter and they go lower before they bring it back down, because they need to stimulate again. They need to print again, and so on and so forth, right? If that pattern continues, and we will see, the economy is going to get so bad that they're going to be forced to print a lot more money. And at the same time, it's possible that there's some huge, whether they attempt a China coup or whether there's, they're doing something already, the slow steaming regulations. Do you know what that is?
This has to do with shipping and ESG, right?
Yeah. So all ships are going to be like slowed down by like,
yes. That's right.
In the new year for some like climate thing. And of course, this is in a time when global prices are already high. So you're boosting the price of shipping by some significant number. You're making it harder for goods to travel internationally. And, sometimes it doesn't mean, 30% hike in something may not mean a 30% hike in prices. It may mean a nonlinear impact, a difficult to calculate impacts. Maybe certain businesses no longer become feasible because you need next day as opposed to, 30% slower than that or whatever, right? So we have that. We have the fact that the US doesn't make things and it makes things abroad. And so it's very vulnerable to like physical supply chain shocks and stuff like that. And you have the fact that the leadership, like you saw, Bezos is being kind of tweeting at Biden. And he's like, economics doesn't work like this. You can't just yell at gas station owners to bring the prices down, So we have guys who really don't know running things, or at least having people running their Twitter accounts. You have all the physical things being made abroad. You have the ESG things that are, slowing down steaming. You have the long-term trend towards lower interest rates. I think you have something where it's likely that inflation could get very nasty. Who knows? I'm a Bitcoin person, whatever, you can discount it like for that reason, right? But that is what I do think. And I don't know when that happens. It could be this thing. It's like fire, right? When it catches, it could go like this, right? If you look at Weimar Germany and the hyperinflation, it's like this, and then goes like that, right? And you'll have people who say, actually, this is good. You know what? All my student loans are gone. All my debts are gone. It's all gone, right? We're all zeroed out. It's like a golden jubilee, right? There'll be people who actually celebrate it, but also everybody whose savings are gone. And this huge economic instability, inflation was a huge part of why Hitler arose. And so, okay. So what do I think happens? I think in that time, if that happens, that cuts the last faith in the state for a lot of people. And this is the thing that I think folks like Marsh and Walter and so on don't get, is an enormous chunk of non-white Americans will go into the Bitcoin column. Why? Because they're hit hardest by inflation. And no matter what they say on CNN, if they're saying, actually inflation is not a big thing, these guys have local information. Going back to the Hayek thing, they can look into their wallet. They can see that they have less money. They can see that the guy on TV over there, whatever, is lying to them. And that is something where that's like a part of their base calving off, along with the tech founders and the, Greenwald and so on types. They're losing a good chunk of the elites and a good chunk of their base, a lot of their most like articulate and like powerful like tech guys or whatever. And they're also losing a huge part of the moral authority, right? Because you're losing folks who you're saying you're fighting for, like marginalized people and so on and so forth, right? And now what? Now you've got something where the only thing they can do is just say, hey, look, we've got the flag. We've got the establishment. We've got the dollar. You want to take us into what? Into some crazy Bitcoin world? But this is a new position for the US establishment, because for the first time, they're the Inchon regime, right? They're like the guys in the French Revolution who are fighting for the crown as opposed to the revolution. They're like the guys in, Russia who are fighting for the old regime, not the new revolution, right? So it's a flippening